I tell you what would happen if you were in my house down south. They would hang me. If you was in my house down south in the 50s and 60s, and they found out that I had a white woman in my house, they would hang me. That's how bad it was. My name is Otis Bennett. I'm 86 years old. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm here now in California. When I was younger, my father worked at a golf course. He was a yard man that kept the lawns green. My mother was a maid, housekeeper, babysitter. She did housework, cleaned up houses and stuff like that. So she was raising these two white girls from birth almost, right? So Mama used to feed them. Mama would physically chew the food and feed it to the baby. You what I said? Chew the food and feed it to the baby. Okay? So, and then as they grew up, when we would take baths, the girls, my brother and I, and the two girls, we all took baths in the same water, everything, right? And when they got up to the age of 9, we couldn't even talk to them anymore. And if we said anything to them, we'd have to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and hold your head down. You couldn't stare them in the eye. Now, these are the kids that we raised up together. We all come up as babies. That's the kind of life that I was having at that particular time. We didn't know that we were poor. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot, but we had a car. We lived in the back of everybody's house because black folks lived in the big house was in front and just houses in the back, in the alley. You had to go into the alley to get to your house. In my hometown, we had our own restaurants. Back in the 30s and the 40s, we couldn't even go into white restaurants. We had our own restaurants, our own grocery stores, hospitals, schools. If we wanted to get something done, we had to stay in our own neighborhood to do most of the things that we had to do. Being a black kid in Memphis, Tennessee, coming up in a segregated city was kind of rough. Going back and forth from school was rough, just getting from home to school and getting back home from school. We had to walk about 2.5 miles, and we went through different neighborhoods, and getting back home sometimes was a problem. When I was coming up as a child, you stayed frightened of being out, of being away from home, trying to get home, because you get jumped at any time.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. And everybody knows about Mississippi gone down.
Something that happened to me that stays with me is on our way home from school, my brother and I, we had a police officer pull up on us and asked us where we were going. We told him we were going home. He said, "Where do you live?" And we explained to him where we lived at. And he pulled his gun and he said, "Which one of you boys are the fastest?" And we said we didn't know. So he said, "Well, the last one over the hill is gonna get shot." And so he made us run, and we actually thought he was gonna shoot us by the time we got to the top of the hill. But it was funny to them. That kind of stuff went on like a lot of times. There was an episode one time I remember we were walking through the back part of the village, which was the alley, and this Caucasian lady was going up the stairs and she slipped and fell. And when she fell, her leg got caught and she was hanging off the stairway. So I was with my father. I was going over there to help. He said, no, you go over there. He went around to the front. There's a barber shop. And he asked the barber, said, "There's a lady that's hanging by her leg and she needs some help." So when him and the people in the barber shop went around there, he said, "Nigga, did you look at this woman with her dress hanging up like that?" And my father said, No, we didn't.
I am sick and tired of going to the funerals of black men who have been murdered by white men. I am sick and tired.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that got drugged behind pickup trucks and stuff. They would drag you, come get your house, drag you, find you dead somewhere, find you hung. I didn't feel bad about it because that was the only thing I knew till I started growing up, getting older. I started learning a little bit more about the world. Then it started bothering me. I started rebelling against a lot of, I started doing a lot of sit-ins.
The South is again faced with a crisis in race relations of perhaps even greater significance, the sit-in movement. During the early weeks of February 1960, the demonstrations that came to be called the sit-in movement exploded across the South.
When I took my seat at the counter, I asked the waitress for a hamburger and a Coke.
I said, I'm sorry, our management does not allow us to serve niggers in here.
Well, sit-in was, we couldn't use the restaurants. We couldn't sit at the lunch counters. So we defied the law and went to sit in at the stores. So they asked us to leave. We didn't leave. And of course, then they called the police. So when the police came, they was pulling us out, throwing us on the ground, shooting us with water hoses and sticking the dogs on us and stuff like that. The Ku Klux Klan, they were my main target.
Not every member is a killer, but most are of low intelligence and badly educated.
The Klan was a lot of racist, coward white folks. They would always form, hood up, so you wouldn't recognize them. Go pull people out of their houses and drag them and hang them, or to intimidate you by burning crosses in front of your house and stuff like that. Now, complaining about the Klan, you're complaining to the chief of police, which is 9 times out of 10 were Klan members, the jailers, the Klan members, lawyers, Klan members. So who do you actually go to tell them that you need some help? It ain't gonna happen. Who you gonna complain to? And if you start talking too much, you'll wind up dead.
Last year, they scored 7 murders, 11 cases of arson, mainly of Negro churches, 27 bombings, and hundreds of cross burnings.
If they didn't like you, a bunch of them would just come to the house and drag you out the house. That had happened to a lot of people in the neighborhood in mine. They would come into our neighborhood to do something to them. They would instill fear in you. You know, my parents were very frightened. I don't think I had enough sense to be frightened. It wasn't about 2 or 3 of us that was rebellious. We were not going to do what they wanted us to do. I'm not going to submit to you being racist like you are to me. You can only push a person so far.
How black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromising sweet talk. And let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
Because I wasn't going to take it. If it was me and that was my father, I wasn't going to take it. I had an uncle that didn't take it. As a matter of fact, that's where I got my little 22 from.
Welcome back, everybody. Today, the first episode of Firearms Factoids is going to be about the 22 LR.
22 long rifle.
22s, man. They're just plain fun.
It also has seen some military use and as an assassin's weapon.
What did you do with that 22?
I put it to use. And I wasn't shooting birds.
You can shoot a lot. They say just about every animal in the world has been taken with a 22.
Well, I know some people that has shot into Klan meetings. I know some people that told me that.
But it'll get the job done.
I know some people that tried to burn some people's houses down. Those are the kind of things that they told me they would do. You shoot at me, somebody gonna shoot back at you. Burning a cross in my yard. When you get home, your house might be on fire. Why you out there burning crosses in people's yard? You done left your house, your kids, your wife, your grandmama. You done left them. You over here trying to burn my stuff down, right? You done left your whole house unprotected. I could tell you some things that I would do, but some of them I can't tell you. But I just put it like this: I was very rebellious. I did some things that is vindictive things, I should say, things that got me to leave Memphis. I put it like that. Do unto others as you had them do unto you. I was really doing unto them the way they were doing unto us. It comes to a point in life that you get tired of it. You know, forget about the consequences, what's going to happen. It's just you're not going to do it anymore. And that's the mentality that I had developed. And that mentality will get you seriously killed.
A sniper fired a single shot from a high-powered rifle at Evers' silhouette. The bullet hit him in the back, crashed through his body.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
So since it was just me, or two, and it's 32 of you guys, we knew we weren't going to last. I was getting a little bit rebellious to the point, so my father told me that I was going to have to leave Memphis because they were going to kill me. They were going, if I kept on doing what I was doing, and white folks was going to kill you, boy. That's what my father said. My parents were so nervous and so afraid that they took me to the Navy office and signed me at 16 into the Navy to get out of Memphis because they were afraid that people were going to come and do something, bother to the house. That was the only thing that got me out of Memphis. So that's why my father told me that I had to leave, because I was not going to bow down anymore. When I went in the military, I went in the Navy at 16. It was a new experience for me because I had never been around white folks like that. But there was a lot of young kids that didn't have it, that came from up north and stuff. They didn't have that racist attitude. I had a lot of animosity for whites. I think it took the Navy to get that out of me.
Look around. Man is still the measure.
And it turned out that that was almost the best thing to happen to me because I learned that everybody wasn't like that.
There is probably no single area holding so much of charm and beauty and the good things of life as Southern California.
When I first got it here, I decided that I'm going to take it on face value. I'm going to judge you on your actions, not the actions of your people, you know. And I found by doing that people are not all bad. Yeah, man, thank you. I love the hell out of you. You happen to be white, but what the hell that mean to me? Ever since I met you, you've been pleasant. I love you just as a human being. That's what you've been. That's what you've been showing me. That's what I see in people.